Hey everybody, welcome to our workshop with Ashely, Doan, WriterGal. What's up, Ashely?
Good morning
/ afternoon, depending where you are in the world. I said
evening.
I said that to someone this morning, good morning, and it's already noon where they are. I was like, oh, well, whatever. I'm just getting up. So
good day, ma'am. Good day.
Hello, how are you? Okay, so friends, we're going to dive into the workshop. As you can see, we have just a couple people on today. A lot of people are planning on watching the replay. So Ashely is going to present this in a way that is you are able to watch the replay and you won't feel lost. For those that haven't met Ashely yet, Ashely is a blogger, a copywriter, and my go-to person when I have people that need support with keyword research, SEO, and how do they make their content searchable on Google. So I've asked Ashely to come on and do this workshop for us and teach us how to do keyword research, because people don't understand that before you create content, you have to find out what your customers are searching for on Google. You have to do your keyword research and then create your content from that perspective. So Ashely's here to teach us how to do that. So with that, Ashely, I'm going to hand it to you.
Awesome. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Okay. Look, I feel like a student. Hello.
I always say good morning, even if it's an evening event. I'm like, good morning. Should we take attendance today? Who's here? Awesome. So today, because we're such a small group, I'm going to make it as interactive as I can. I've got some blurby stuff and some educational stuff, and then I'm going to share my screen too and walk you through some great tools to do your research and kind of take it from there. But before we do that, Min, you're the only one here live at the moment. Do you want to introduce yourself so I kind of get an idea of what your business is so I can start tailoring some of the content for what you do?
Oh man, you were asking me on like the world's worst day.
I'm sorry.
No. It has nothing to do with what you're asking. I am a virtual assistant for very busy entrepreneurs, and I love picking up their busy work so that they can get back to working in their zone of genius. The biggest thing with my business right now is that I'm in influx and I have no clue what my next steps are. So that's why I said, like, you're just asking the wrong question on the wrong day, just because I have like no clue. I'm at the point in my business where Lindsay knows this, but I'm at the point in my business where I need to correction. I don't need to, but you either evolve or you stay still, and I'm at the point of evolving and growing, and I just haven't figured out which direction that looks like for me yet.
Can I interject? Can I say something?
No, absolutely, yes.
So, because Min can I share some of the things you're playing with?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So Min is playing with, so Min already does podcast management and is playing with podcast management, VA services, starting a coaching program, one-on-one coaching and an actual course for people who want to leave the corporate world to become a VA, because it is such a high demand profession. And now is also playing with, how do you create TikToks and Reels for busy entrepreneurs like me? She's creating this killer like spreadsheet, hashtag research, trend research, sound research, creating a whole like spreadsheet of things to do. So we just got to create the content, and she's got all the research. So that's what Min's kind of leaning into. I'm very excited about that. So I feel like for the sake of this workshop, that should be what you lean into, because I know it's what you're playing with in the new year. Is this TikTok and Reel service.
Yeah. To my VA clients, though, don't worry, you're not going to lose me watching.
That's so cool. You know, this is a great time of year because everyone's got these great plans and they're like, okay, let's start implementing them. You know, the calendar changes and it kind of stimulates something in our brain. Like, yes, now is the time to actually get our butts down and do these things that we wanted to do, like these courses and changing of directions. It's so fun. And SEO plays right into that. So that is perfect. Thank you. And we also have Linda, who wasn't able to make it today. Lindsay has sent me your niche information about overspending. You're a money coach and you really help people in their relationship with money. So Linda, I know you weren't able to make it today, but I'm going to throw in some stuff for you today here as well.
Yeah. And Linda works specifically with women in recovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is the third person?
We have Susie, who is going to watch the replay as well. And so she works in the space of like womb health and pelvic health, and specifically helping people with womb spaces to, same thing, heal and repair and reconnect to their relationship with their womb space.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No wonder this name sounded so familiar. They bought into my program this morning.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah. Susie is so fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And Min, is there, before you go off mute again, is there anything specific aside from helping with that program that you're looking to get out of today?
I would love to be able to, I'm still a podcast manager for Lindsay, and being able to target their podcast properly on SEO and getting it more eyes on it. Yeah, that's definitely another aspect of as to why I picked up today. Actually, that was the first reason why I picked up today.
There's so many different areas. Like you're like me, and Lindsay's the same way. We all have all these different things that we do. Mm-hmm. And with this, the whole goal of this is to get more eyes on our content.
Yeah.
Because as marketers, as business owners, we know that the more eyes are on our content, more qualified eyes that are on our content, the higher the chances of them becoming a customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to hit pause real quick. Susie, welcome. We were literally just talking about you as we were doing the intros. I was filling everybody in on your business so that we can factor your clientele in. If you want to share your camera and say hi, please do. If you want to hang out in the background, that's fine too.
And Susie, I'd love to hear if you have a second, either in the chat or come on camera. Let me know what you need. Not able to share camera. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Whenever you're ready. This will be very interactive. So if you can come on later, that would be really great.
Or just put it in the chat for us.
Yeah. Put in the chat what you really need to get out of today, why you're here, if there's anything specific that you need, and I'll try to address that as we go through.
Yeah. And can I share what I want for people to get out of this?
Yes.
Ever the leader. I really want folks to understand how to do keyword research, because I think that everyone says to do it, but they first of all, understanding SEO and how it works, and then understanding how to do keyword research, like literally how to do it, and then how to incorporate it in like your website, your YouTube, your podcast, your blog. How do you incorporate it? Yes. And Ashely's done a really great blogging workshop that I'm going to link with this replay so that you can watch that one as well, because it's like chef's kiss perfect. So that's the biggest thing, is like why SEO, what it is, why it's important, and how to do actual keyword research that is effective.
So you basically just reiterated my entire workshop.
So all right, intro done.
Intro done. Thank you. Let's move on. But that's exactly what we're going to go through. We're going to go over, what it is, why it works. And I got a really great pie chart to show you all the different pieces. I'm going to go through how to do the research, what makes good keywords, what makes bad keywords, where to find these keywords, what the heck are keywords. And I'm going to show you how to implement the keywords once you've picked the right ones. Mm-hmm. So we're going to make this as interactive as we can. Let us get going. And I have some fancy dancy slides for you guys today. We'll start with that. Let me move some faces around here and then we will get started.
Excellent.
Okay, everyone can see my screen and not my notes, correct?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Perfect. I always check because I've shared my notes and it's been terrible. You see my secrets. Okay, so how to do SEO and keyword research, the simplest and freest way to drive traffic to your website. Now, there are big marketing agencies that will charge you a lot of money to do very in-depth stuff that I'm going to teach you today. There's nothing against what they do. They do great work. But if what I'm focusing today on is how you can get started on your own, because you can do some very basic and effective SEO work on your website, on your content, on your YouTube, on your TikTok, on your own. And then when you're ready to expand your business and move into other avenues, then you can look at getting an agency. But today, my goal is to prepare you to get a little bit done yourself. Now, it's an interesting little game that we're playing. There's SEO and there's content. And, we talked about this on the live that Lindsay and I did on her group a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Content and SEO, they're kind of in conflict with each other a little bit. But what I'm going to show you today is how you can marry the two, how SEO and creating content, websites, blogs can work together. Because ultimately, we want to please our customers. We want to attract our customers. But when it comes to SEO, we also need to flirt with Google a little bit. We need to make Google like us. Otherwise, Google's not going to show our site, our content in front of anybody. So let us get into this. So with everything that you do online, everything you do in your business, you may have seen this little formula before. This is your goal with every content, every interaction you have in your business. You want people to know, like, and trust you. That is when you'll get a conversion. So when it comes to content, let's put SEO aside for just a moment. People need to know you exist or they won't buy from you. They need to like you because you're not the only one that does what you do. And they want to work with people, or people want to work with people that they like. And ultimately, if they don't trust you, they are never going to buy from you. So you need to be creating content that meets all of these needs. And when all of this content is visible on Google, they will know you exist. They will come to like you because they're seeing all this content you're creating because it's on Google, it's on search engines, it's on YouTube, podcasts. And then that's where that trust comes in. So the ultimate goal of SEO, of search engine optimization and content, is to get people to trust you and buy from you. Now, the first thing to sort of consider is we do have to balance, like I said, Google's needs and our customers' needs, and they are completely different. You know, Google and search, and I'm going to use Google to mean search engines in general today. Google wants us to be everywhere. They want us to have content on all these platforms. They want it to be relevant content, and the algorithms know this. And I'm going to talk about how they know what's relevant. There's some technical back end stuff that they want us to have, and I'll briefly touch on that, but I won't go into too much detail today. And they want to know that you are an authority in what you do. You know, you don't have to have a PhD or win awards, but they want to know that your content shows that you know your stuff. Now, our customers, they're looking for us to be knowledgeable in our topic, in our niche. They also want us to be timely with the information, to get us that information that they're craving, when they're craving it, and where they're craving it. They want the content to be easy to consume. Now, that is a huge thing. I could do a whole 2-hour workshop on itself, is how to make content readable, easy to consume for your customer. And they want you to be human. You know, that's a big, big thing that some people struggle with when they're doing SEO. Is SEO writing can sound very boring, and it can sound forced if it's not done correctly. So you need to find a way to balance, and we're going to talk about that today, how to balance being human and being knowledgeable with all the technical stuff that Google wants. And that is what we're going to look at today, how to marry these two together. So the purpose of all of your online content really comes into play when it comes to SEO. The purpose of anything you do online is to show off your expertise, which we've talked about. It is to attract new followers in addition to people you already have. So that's where the SEO strategies really come into play. It's attracting new people, or even people that have kind of dabbled in you, a little bit. They know a little bit about you, but don't really know a lot. It really helps to nurture and to get new followers, to engage with people that are already following you, and ultimately to grow your business. You know, Min, you were saying you're taking your business in a whole new direction in the new year. So this is perfect time to be growing and incorporating SEO right now at the beginning to set you up for success as you move forward in whichever avenue you decide to choose. Okay, so today, Lindsay's already given my outline for today, but I will reiterate it in my words too. First thing, we're going to talk about how Google thinks. I'm going to share exactly what Google looks for, or exactly what we know Google looks for. We don't know it all, and that's the fun part. How to pick keywords. When we do this section, I'm going to stop sharing my slides. I'm going to share my browser and go through a whole bunch of tools. We'll put in some of your keywords. We'll check this out, and we'll play with this, and you'll have some time to do this as well. Then once you've picked keywords, I'm going to show you how to use them. The very, very basic bare minimum stuff that you can do on your own, as long as you have access to edit your website, your blogs, your YouTube, as long as you have access, you can do this stuff. Okay, I'm going to talk for a little bit more, and then we're going to do some work. So bear with me for just a moment. This stuff is very important to understand. It's understanding how Google thinks. Oh, I probably should have put this slide a bit earlier. So what is SEO and keywords? I've talked all about this SEO thing, but what is it? So SEO stands for search engine optimization. It is how people are going to find you on Google. It is how Google ranks who is on page 1, spot 1, and who is on page 100, which nobody cares about. It's that. And when you look at SEO at the very highest level, there's two aspects of it. There's the off page. which are things like adding links to your website, the technical back end stuff. And then there's what we're going to look at today, which is the on page, the written, the content side of things. Now, I found this graph recently and I find it really, really fascinating. The gist of this is that 90% of all of the websites out there get no visits. Nobody visits these websites, which is really, really interesting because there's so many websites out there. Why are they not getting any traffic? And, you know, only 5% are getting about 1 to 10 visits. I think this is a month. I'm not sure. You know, that's not a lot. So there is a huge, huge opportunity right now for all of us to get out of that 0 visits, that 90%, and at least get a couple of visits to our website through SEO. So I talked earlier about there's content and then there's back end and more technical stuff. This looks complicated, but let me highlight a few things for you. According to what we know about Google algorithms, which isn't a whole lot, we don't know all of the factors that Google uses. It's very secret stuff, like secret sauce stuff. But this is the stuff that I'm going to say, do know about how Google decides which pages are going to be ranked high, which ones are going to be ranked low, which ones aren't even going to show up at all. Now, the ones that I've highlighted make up about 50%, and that is the content stuff that you can control as you. You know, the rest of it is things that you can't control. It is more back-end stuff that you'll need a developer to help you with. But us, you know, the 4 of us here, everyone watching the replay, we can control half of it. So why aren't we? That is the half that we're talking about today. So some of the things on a content side that Google looks for is it looks at your social media. You know, it knows your social media is linked to your website, and it looks at the quality of, you know, they say tweeted links here, but, you know, the quality of the content you're putting out there, the engagement, the followers you have, all of this information. It looks at that to determine whether your website is going to rank high or low. It looks at page level stuff, the keyword content that we're really going to be focusing on today. Also looking at the content length, the uniqueness, some load speed issues, but that is a big portion as well. I would say it's more than 9%. I would say it's a little bit more. Page level keyword and content features. The big thing here to note is the quantity and relevance of your content. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen those websites out there that they're ranking for a certain keyword, but they don't talk about the keyword at all. The keyword is not related to the content. And we're going to make sure today, I'm going to show you how to make sure the right keywords are linked to it. And there's some other things regarding link building that we're not going to go into today, but that's about making sure that your website is linked from other websites and vice versa, creating this big web of links. And that's a fairly big portion that we can talk about in another workshop later, perhaps. But today we're really going to focus on how to use keywords in your content. So kind of to summarize, how are we going to flirt with Google? We need high quality content. So well written, well formatted, cleanly formatted. I'm going to talk about that too today. I'm squeezing a lot into 2 hours here. It needs to be unique content. This is very, very huge. Write this down if you got a notepad. There should be no duplicate content on the website for something that you've written. So when it comes to blogging, for example, people always ask me, can I post my blog on my website and then copy it on this other website and copy it on this website and copy it on this website word for word? And I'm going to say no, because when it comes to SEO, Google will see that. Google sees, okay, well, why are these guys copying these guys and copying these guys? It's not good. So you want to have as much unique content as possible. Relevance, we'll talk about that today too. Whatever keyword, whatever topic that you are aiming for, you need to make sure that the keyword is relevant to that topic. So I'm not going to fill a page with the correct amount of the new Hawkeye movie. So Marvel Hawkeye, that might be my keyword phrase. But my content, my page is talking about getting your nails done and having the right makeup. So technically I could rank a makeup page for Marvel Hawkeye movie, but that's cheating, you know, and Google is smart. The algorithms are freaking smart. They know. So you need to make sure that it is relevant. And for some of the content, it looks at engagement. You know, how many people are visiting that YouTube video? How many people are listening to your podcast? Likes, comments, it looks at all of that. And I throw this in here. It's not a content related thing. It's more programming. You need your website to be mobile friendly because everybody is going to look at your website on one of these. And Google knows that. And if it's not, if it doesn't have a format, you know, this is all back end stuff that looks good on your phone, it's not going to rank your site as high. So I always throw that in here because it's very important. So check your website. And if you don't have a mobile friendly version, get a developer to help you with that. Okay, before we go on to a couple little brainstorming activities, does anybody have any questions about how the algorithm works before I go into any more in-depth information here?
One of the things, hang on, let me make sure I'm not missing everybody. There we go. One of the things that people will often do is complain about the algorithm as if the algorithm is out to get them. And I would love for you to shift what the algorithm is for people, that it's not personally attacking you, and that how to work with it. Can you just speak to that mindset really quickly?
Yeah, you know, we always need someone to blame. You know, that's where it comes into play. And the algorithm, it's there for a reason. You know, it's done its research. Google, as much as, you know, if you're anti-Google and all the information they keep on you, whatever that is, yeah, but they have the right idea when it comes to content. You know they've used all this data, however they've collected it, to know as much as they can about us and about how people search and what people are looking for. So, you know, I'm a bit of a rule breaker. I hate following the rule. Like, I hate it with a passion. That's why I became an entrepreneur. I can't work for other people. But when it comes to the algorithm, you have to follow the rules. But following the rules, and we're going to go through this today, doesn't have to be technical. It can be fun. So just focus on the fun side of it. Follow as many of the rules as you can, and you can find success with it. So it's a necessary evil, if you like to think of it like that. But yeah, so it's really just follow the rules. And I'm going to show you the rules today. I'm going to show you the rules you can control and how to make it fun. But ultimately, you know, I hate to talk bad about my own workshop, but ultimately you need to write for your customer. That is your ultimate goal. If SEO is too much, make sure that if you have to choose between SEO and your customer, choose your customer. You know, ultimately, I'm basically just negating this whole workshop by saying that, but it is true. But I hope that with this workshop, we can find a way to marry the two and make it easy. Okay, I want to spend a few minutes just doing some brainstorming. Maybe we'll have some quiet time for about 3 minutes. You can brainstorm on your own, and then we'll come back and talk about some of these things. And these are going to come into play throughout the next, what are we at? Hour and a half. So I'd like everyone to just take maybe 2 quick minutes. You know your business pretty well. It shouldn't take too long. I want you to write down 5 to 10 things that you sell, offer, do, areas of specialty. Just brainstorm 5 to 10 things and write them down on paper. And I'll just put a quick 2-minute timer. If you're done, just put in the comments and we can stop early. So 5 to 10 things that you do, sell, or offer. We've got about 30 seconds left if you guys still need it. Or if you're done, just kind of wave at me. Okay. Would either of you like to share a couple things from your quick list? Min, what have you got in your list?
Sure. So I have this TikTok and Instagram Reels, like a DIY kind of mastermind. We're still working out the name. Please bear with me.
Yeah, no worries.
I also have my VA coaching. The mastermind is kind of like where I'm planning on taking it in the new year. I also do podcast management and VA services. And then what I'd love to be able to offer to the mastermind for a higher ticket item is like work one-on-one with clients who want to like really, push out their TikToks. If I'm going to go in way of TikTok masterminds or Reels mastermind.
Okay, awesome. So keep those in mind as we go through the rest of the stuff today.
Okay.
Lindsay, do you have a couple that you'd like to share?
So this is just our services. This is what we offer.
Anything you offer, sell, how you make money.
Yeah, I mean, it's my programs. It's the Easy Entrepreneurship System, Irresistible Entrepreneurs Academy, Macy Scalers Club coming next year, Radical Roadmap, my business planner, my VIP days, my sales funnel content marketing audits, my 6-month or 12-month coaching, and then I also offer free monthly workshops.
You've got a lot to work with. You got a lot to work with.
I got a lot of options, whatever you need.
I know we can't people always tell you to niche down, and sometimes, I've niched down as much as I can because I like to do it all, and that's good. It all fits in the same bucket. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want you to write down 3 struggles or pain points that your ideal customer or client would have. And very briefly, what product or solution would solve that problem. So just really quick, whether it's something emotional or a struggle, do they know they have a struggle? So maybe just take another quick 2 minutes, 3 struggles, and quickly what your pain point is. Doesn't have to be a lot of detail. So 2 minutes, and wave at me if you get done early. Okay, another 30, 40 seconds. Okay, Lindsay, why don't you go first this time? Why don't you list maybe just one of the struggles and solutions?
Sure. Okay, sure. One of the things I said is feeling overwhelmed in what to do in their business. They don't know what to do every day. They need structure and direction to grow. And I was like, oh, well, that's just the Radical Roadmap. There you go.
Perfect. Min, what have you got for one of your struggles that you can share?
not understanding how to utilize TikTok to their advantage and fit it in within their niche. And that would be my either the DIY or the one-on-one program.
Perfect. Okay, so keep that list handy and kind of look at it as we go through. I'm going to show you how to do the research now. So pick, depending on how you want to work, pick one of the things that you offer or one of those pain points and keep those in mind as we're using these tools. And I'll give you some time to use these tools as well and kind of see what you come up with. Okay, so a little bit of more background about keyword research before I show you all the cool tools, which are really cool and free. When coming up with keywords, we really need to keep in mind, what is the intent of this page, of this piece of content? And when it comes to SEO, there are sort of 4 buckets that every piece of content you create will fall into. And your choice of keyword phrases will depend on what this intention is. So the first one is they're doing an informational search. They're basically just looking for information. So, for all of us that are here today, we all are sharing that information. Lindsay's constantly sharing information about how to do this, the workshops. People are looking for information. And Min, same with you. If you create content that is based on TikTok or podcasts on your website, that's very informational, value-based, these kinds of keywords would work there. So, if you're in fitness, how many calories are in an apple? People may not be looking to buy, they're just looking for information. And if your company comes up, your business comes up, that's keeping you top of mind for when they see you again later. Strategies to grow an email list, they're just looking for information. Best paleo blogs, they just want to learn more. So think about that. The next one is commercial intent. So that is when people are thinking about buying, but they're still kind of comparing what company or what product to use. So they're investigating your brand. The next one, navigational, this is probably the easiest to rank for because basically they're searching for your company name or your name. We always love Googling ourselves, and whether it's our name or our business name, that's always so much fun. I did that this morning. Those kind of, no one else is going to be ranking for WriterGal Marketing Services, my company name. So it'll be super easy for me to rank. So that's basically if someone meets you at a networking event, they're like, oh, who is this WriterGal? They type in WriterGal Marketing. Oh, yes, your website comes up, they see your content. And the last one is transactional. They are doing a search with the intent to buy very soon. So that's car insurance quotes, buying groceries online, flights, things like that. Hire a, insert your career choice here. So there's different kinds of content. So when you're trying to match the keywords that we're going to look at with the content for it, sorry, I thought I got an alert from the school. It says it's like emergency notice. I'm like, oh no, it's not. Sorry, apologies. So the content that you're creating, you need to marry the keyword phrase with the intent of that page. So for most likely, for a blog or a podcast, you're going to have a lot more informational kind of searches, maybe some commercial if you have a compare apples and oranges type blog post. Your sales page, for example, would be more transactional. So online courses or online TikTok courses, or buy an online TikTok course. I'm just throwing these off. I haven't done research on these phrases. But those kinds of searches, people are looking for your sales page. They're looking to buy. Okay. Before we look into keyword research, we need to know what makes a good keyword. Now, keyword research is a shot in the dark. It is an educated guess. We don't know with 100% certainties, and even the big SEO companies, they don't know with 100% certainty what keyword is going to work for you, your page, your content, your business. So we kind of have to take an educated guess. And a couple of the tools I'm going to show you help give us that information that we need. So here are 2 examples. This is from Google AdWords, which I'll show you today as well. Comparing the words Vancouver copywriter with freelance copywriter Vancouver. Very similar. some tools will tell you the average monthly searches. So according to Google or MSN, whatever the other search, Yahoo, they take the average number of searches over a whole year and just divide it by 12. It's not, there's ways to look at the trends in that, which we'll look at today. So this kind of gives you an idea. There are approximately 100 to 1,000 people searching for the phrase Vancouver copywriter a month. Half of those are probably me searching myself. But the point is, that's a fairly good number of searches. A lot of these tools will also give you the competition. So that's basically the potential difficulty to rank for that keyword. Now, that competition is more based on if you're using keywords for ads, but it does give you a very good indicator of how much competition there is. So for example, I'm not going to want to use, if I was in clothing and fitness, I wouldn't want to use the phrase yoga pants, because that is very broad, and Lululemon probably has the monopoly on that keyword online. So it would be very difficult for me to rank. So when you're using the tools and you see average monthly searches and competition for the businesses that we've got here, I would recommend, even the 10 to 100 is fairly decent. I imagine those would be very targeted people, because that's a very specific kind of keyword there. Freelance copywriter Vancouver, that could be a search. People are looking for information about what it's like to hire a freelance. Maybe they're ready to hire. So it's very, very targeted information. So don't be afraid, unless it says 0 searches, I wouldn't do it. Or if it's 0 searches, maybe consider not trying to rank for that phrase. But 10 to 100 is good. 100 to 1,000 is probably a really good one as well. And for competition, stay away from ones when they say hi, because you're fighting against Lululemon, who are those big Dean Graziosi and all these big guys. We can't really compete with them. They have big budgets and big, experience. So I would say for competition, medium or low will give you a higher chance to show up on page 1 if you follow the rules for using that keyword. Now you'll notice that in these 2 keywords, there's 2 words for the first one and 3 for the second one. The longer keyword phrase has less searches, but it is more targeted. So that's something I want to talk about. When we talk about keyword research, we're not talking about ranking for 1 or 2 word phrases, because everyone's trying to rank for those phrases and the big guys are going to win those. We want longer keyword phrases. And I found this chart last night. I just added it in. I really like this. So it's comparing 3 different keyword phrases: tomato plant, when to plant tomatoes, and why tomato plants are turning yellow. I really wish I planted tomatoes this year. It's the one thing I didn't do. So tomato plant, 2 words, has a lot of monthly searches because it's very general, very broad. When to plant tomatoes has less, but you'll notice that people that are converting to customers or signing up, whatever that might be, is actually getting a little bit higher. And the longest phrase, why are tomato plants turning yellow, has the least amount of searches, but the highest conversion rate. So when you're looking at what phrases to use, I would recommend choosing 3, 4, maybe words in a string. You can go longer. Why are tomato plants turning yellow? But try not to aim for 1 or 2 word phrases, because those are really difficult. And the likelihood of converting to, someone converting can mean many things. It can mean buying. It could mean visiting 2 or more pages on your website. It could mean engaging with you in some other way. It's basically engaging more than just reading that content. And that's what we want, right? So the more specific and targeted that keyword phrase, the longer, the higher the chances of your content being successful in converting. Okay, so we're going to start creating your first keyword list before we use the tools. And we kind of did this a little bit with the brainstorming. Another way to go about it is to make topic buckets. So that's why I asked you to write down those 5 to 10 things that you offer. Those could be your buckets. And within those buckets, you could have additional words, phrases, specialties. So Lindsay, remind me what one of your specialties or your offers was on there.
So in this case, I'm just playing with the Radical Roadmap, which is my 12-month business journal. Business plan.
So if you have, the Radical Roadmap, you could fill that with keywords like business planner, monthly goal setting, other things that you've got in that planner. Just fill that up with other kinds of words, other more specific information. And Min, for the TikTok one, you can go into more details about how to use TikTok, strategies to use TikTok for business. Again, I haven't researched these are top of my head stuff, but that's okay. At this point, I want you to just write down more specifics on one of those areas. Let's just see how we're doing for time here.
We're good. And Susie just messaged me. She had to go. She's traveling today, which I knew. So she's like, my internet is too bad. But if you were to do, like, let's say Linda, like, what would you give a suggestion for Linda? I know that I sent it to you, right? You've got it there.
Yeah. So if we're doing buckets for,
so she has like a group coaching program for women in recovery who want to heal their relationship with money. So what would you suggest?
So if that was like for the group program, that would be the top of your bucket. And in the bucket could be, think about the pain points. Why are women, why do women have a bad relationship with money? What are those triggers? You could fill it with keywords like financial independence for women, or financial information, or if investing is in there, or if budgeting is in there. Just think about all the different things that those programs offer, or that program offers, and use those as keywords to get started.
And can we do one more? Let's throw something out there for Susie, who's going to watch the replay. So she's got a program. It's a cool sort of self-guided program on reconnecting to your womb space using what am I trying to say? Like rituals and meditation and movement and body stuff. And it's this really cool sort of 5-day program that people go through.
Well, even, things like that, you could use phrases to fill up those buckets. It could be things like meditation, or that's too short, but meditation tips for first-time moms, or meditation tips, or what else is in that program?
Like she works a lot with like dealing with pain, dealing with medical trauma, dealing with like birth or loss of like miscarriages, things like that.
So all of those words you just said, we'd throw those in there.
Yeah.
And maybe say for women in there as well, because that's pain for men and women is different. If she only deals with women, that's a good keyword. And that's actually brings up an interesting point about adding those qualifiers. If you want to use a word like pain management, pain management in itself, you're probably competing against all the big medical journals and stuff. But if you do pain management for women, that gets a little more specific. Or if you're offering in-person stuff, pain management in Vancouver, or pain management for women in Vancouver.
Or even like you could do like postpartum pain management, or right?
Exactly. Go into different types of pain, different areas of pain, different reasons for pain. Because you ran at the gym and you shouldn't have before stretching, things like that. Just think of anything. It doesn't have to be very specific. At this point, we're just kind of getting ideas out there. So we can start putting some of these ideas into the tools I'm going to show you to see if they're actually good ideas.
Can I throw something out there that I've been playing with? I don't know if it's the right time now or later, you can let me know, but I've been playing with things like neurodivergent entrepreneur, ADHD entrepreneur, bipolar entrepreneur, and I'm ranking for these. Right. And because nobody's really talking about that. And so even like you talk about these qualifiers, thinking about really right down to the granular, really who your stuff is for. So does that do you want to address that, or just be like, yep, and let's keep on moving?
Yep, let's keep on moving. No,
perfect.
No, that does kind of speak to coming up with keyword phrases. If you're stuck, putting in those qualifiers that are regional. If you're a brick and mortar store, like I don't believe anybody here is, if you have a shop, throwing your city in there, or throwing the community that you're in, or BC or Canada, that can help get you more specific qualifiers. And then, like you said, Lindsay, the types of entrepreneurs, if you're ranking for those words, keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then you can even get more specific. You can rank for ADHD entrepreneur, and another page can rank for ADHD entrepreneurs in Canada or something along those lines. So that's definitely a good idea. See if you can qualify it if you need to get something a little more specific.
Yeah.
And then that goes back to pain points, knowing your customers, knowing your clients. All of this stuff won't do you much good if you don't know who your clients are. Basically, what we're doing is we're trying to guess what they're going to put into Google when they're looking for our business. So that's another way to look at it. What are people going to look at in Google when they're looking for your business? And we'll do a little exercise on that in just a moment as well. When you're coming up with this first keyword list, go back and look at those 4 intent. Are they looking to buy? Are they just looking for information? Are they looking for knowledge? What are they looking for? And then once you've picked some keywords that you think might be really good, we're going to research them. We're going to look at how difficult is it looking to be to rank for that keyword. So here's a screenshot from the slide before, high, medium, or low is what these tools are going to give you. So look for something low or medium. How much traffic could you get? So you could spend, 50 hours developing a course, another 25 hours, math doesn't add up, but 25 hours in promoting the course, doing the SEO for it. But if no one's actually searching for that keyword phrase, you've wasted your time. So you need to make sure that there are people actually searching for it. And this is one of the ways to find that out. And there's some other ways that I'll show you in the tools as well. Once you've found your keyword phrase, now this goes back to what Lindsay and I were talking about 2 weeks ago. Once you found that phrase that's got a good monthly searches, good competition, not too hard to rank, what content do you need to create for that keyword phrase? So, Lindsay, Min, when you guys are doing the podcast, you can go through the keyword list and say, okay, here's a good one. Let's make an episode on that topic. Mm-hmm. It's a great way to come up with blog topics, to come up with podcasts, TikToks, all of that. Find that keyword phrase that is good, that looks like it could be a success, and figure out what content you can create for that. Now, the one spot where that gets switched is if you've got your website up already. We can't do the research and then come up with our business and then SEO it. So this is the one time where it's okay to kind of switch it. You've got your website. We need to figure out what are those keywords going to be for your homepage, for your services page, for your buying page, for a service, for an offering or sales page. So that's the one time where it'll kind of be switched a little bit. And the biggest question is, are these searchers actually customers? So I can totally create a web page, create a whole company, and optimize it around copywriters in Belgium. And technically I could rank for that page. I could. But are people searching for copywriters in Belgium really looking for me here in Vancouver? So make sure that these people that are searching for these phrases are customers. Now, what else did I want to share about this? Okay, so because we're doing okay on time, but I want to move on. Feel free to do this when you have some time, maybe after the call, maybe later today. Just create those buckets and start filling words in there. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to stop sharing my slide and I'm going to go through some tools. I love these tools. Find the tools. Okay, everyone can see a web browser of Google now, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so this is the first free tool. So all the tools I'm going to show you today are the free ones or limited ones. So you have 1 or 2 searches a day or 24 hours. So the first way to come up with Google keywords is to ask Google, what keywords are good? So let's see, if I type in pelvic floor, it's giving me a whole bunch of auto suggest ideas here. And all of these are based on what people are actually searching for in Google. So all of these you can add to your keyword list. Pelvic floor, I can't even speak today. Pelvic floor physiotherapy, Maple Ridge. Well, clearly Google knows I'm living in Maple Ridge right now. You know, pelvic floor exercises for women. Perfect. That is probably an excellent phrase for a blog post, for a TikTok, for a video, you know, putting in all these information, all these ideas. Let's see. Relationship with money, exercise. See, sometimes it doesn't quite.
What about overspending?
Overspending problems, overspending, or because people would come to you, Linda, because they're struggling. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a copywriter. Struggling with overspending. Oh, maybe I need to start again. Seriously, I am a copywriter. Well, it auto-corrected it anyways. Struggling with overwhelm, oh, it didn't help. But if I'm struggling with overspending, I'm probably knowing that my budgeting isn't very good. You know, I need to budget. So budgeting tips for overspenders. Perfect, right there. Budgeting tips for overspenders. So that could be a great keyword phrase. How not to spend money for a week. How to stop spending money for 30 days. How to stop spending money on unnecessary things. That could be an amazing blog post or a podcast episode. I would really listen to that one. How to stop spending money like crazy. So this is another thing. So if you come up with a phrase, search it, see what kind of stuff is coming up. These are other phrases you can use in questions people ask. How do I stop spending money like crazy? How do I stop overspending? So your phrase can be a question. And what I like about these ones that are questions is it perfectly comes in, like there's your blog title. There's your podcast episode. There's your TikTok title and description right there, because people are searching for this information. You know, how to stop overspending, curb your overspending. Here's another keyword. So just look at these searches. While I'm here, there's also I'm in Chrome right now. There's a plugin called, let me grab the name. It's a stupid name. It's called Extract People Also Search Phrases in Google. That is the name of the plugin. I didn't make it. It is amazing. So if you're in Chrome, download this extension. Extract People Also Search Places in Google. And when you do that and you do a Google search, this little thing comes up on the side and it gives you a whole bunch of other keyword ideas. So how to stop overspending. Why is it so hard to not spend money? Things to stop spending money on. You know, how to stop spending money on clothes. Good, I need that one. You know, all of these are keyword phrases that you can use, and you can see how these are inspiring content ideas. You know, it's super fun. So if we go, let's do a TikTok one. TikTok for business. That's not really cool. Min, do you have any good TikTok words that you've been brainstorming there that I could try for you? TikTok growth strategies. Did you got anything there? Oh, you're on mute. Oh, you're still on mute there, Min. We can't hear you. It sounded really important.
I was actually researching last night TikTok growth strategies while I was, doing my own research last night for my program. And I felt really overwhelmed with the one information, and two, felt like there wasn't enough solid information.
How about
you try can you try like maybe utilizing short form videos? I was gonna try that last night and I didn't.
Maybe short form videos. How to make short form short form. Oh my goodness. I'm a speaker. I really am. Let's see. Is it going to come up with any suggestions? So short form video examples. This is more of how-to kind of thing.
Yeah.
Short form video strategy. Sometimes just putting it in here and seeing what other people are, writing. What makes a good short form video? Or short form videos effective? How to use them to grow your brand? Like, that's interesting there.
Well, one of my lead magnets is going to be like the anatomy of building a TikTok video to go viral, or with the potential of going viral. I can't promise people.
Yeah. How to go viral. Oh,
It's worse because you have an audience.
I don't like people watching me when I work.
And you're using like left brain, right brain, and
and then I got my microphone here in the middle, so I'm trying to like be
you do
about
the
it.
thing where you're trying to That's why I didn't plug my mic in today, because that's exactly why I was like, I don't want to work around my mic.
Yeah. Here's some ideas, how to go viral on TikTok overnight. How long does it take to go viral on TikTok? But if you're creating like a guide or, that's more of an informational thing. So people will be looking for how to go viral on TikTok. How do I make my TikTok go viral? Download my free guide now. Here's another qualifier they have here, 2021. That works, but temporarily, because if people are going to look at it in 2 years from now, unless you change the date or the number. But that's an interesting way to qualify it if it is something very specific for dates. How to go viral on TikTok, the first result here. So that might be an interesting one to search. But the whole point is,
rank it by like when it gets published.
Sorry, what was that?
Does Google also rank it by like the date that the blog gets published? Because I'm just noticing the very top one by Hootsuite, it's like October 2021. And the one below it, I didn't see what the one below it, when that got published. There we go.
Doesn't say. That's one of the factors. Obviously it's going to prioritize the most current information.
Right.
If they're comparing two pages that are essentially the same, from a technical perspective, no problem, Lindsay. They're going to want to rank the most up-to-date version. So something that's been updated recently, or that does have that date on it.
Okay.
And Google knows when your website has been updated. And that's one of the factors it also looks at, is if you have a static website, don't update anything on it. Google is like, well, does Min still exist if she hasn't updated her website?
Fair.
So that is one of the things. And some people, I know I do this when I do research. When you go to tools, I usually say I want something within the past month or the past year. Because if I'm looking at, like marketing stats, I don't want stats from 5 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is one of the many things that Google uses. And I think it's like 200 or 300 different little things, and date-based things are one of those things. Okay. So that is Google. The next one, actually, you know what I should do? I'm going to copy all of these links. I pasted them here. So you can download the chat and check these links out yourself after. So the next one is Google Trends. And this one is really fun. So if we go back to, let's go pelvic health. Pelvic health. So type in one of those search words that you came up with in your list. Put it in here, and this will kind of tell you the trends over time. So it's, it's kind of big. 100% means a lot of people are searching it. So for whatever reason, pelvic health got a lot of searches in July. I don't know why. Maybe it was pelvic health month. I'm not sure. But what's really nice is you're able to see the regions that people are searching for that keyword. So if you offer pelvic health consultations or something in person, and there's not a lot of people in British Columbia or Ontario, whatever, that are searching for that, maybe it's not so helpful. So it's kind of interesting to see the regions, and you can do sub-regions. See city. Oh, not quite enough data. That's okay. Sub-region. It'll also give you some, oh, this is a very good search. Here's another keyword that you could use, Susie. Pelvic health solutions. That's another keyword. This didn't actually come up with too much. Let's do some podcast stuff, Min. Podcast management. Whoops. Let's spell that right. Okay, podcast management. Oh, interesting. It doesn't have, oops. Type it in slowly. There we go. So I wouldn't worry about this too much unless it was all zero. There's a lot of people searching for it in Ontario. Min, are you in Vancouver or are you in Ontario? Vancouver?
I'm in Vancouver currently.
Okay.
Well, I'm in Nanaimo currently, but I don't really have a home base. Technically, it's Vancouver or Nanaimo, I guess.
It's wherever you lay your head at night. That is your home base, right? Yeah.
Well, for now.
So it's interesting that podcast management is being searched quite a bit in Ontario, but not anywhere else. Find that a little odd to believe. But let's go related topics, podcast. Let's just see what else we can come up with. So if you click on this, interest seems pretty high. That's actually very interesting. Here's a little bit more. So, in the Yukon, it's really, really popular. Here in BC, 67, Ontario, 53. So that's quite interesting. Here's some more related. Oh, weird. Let me try another keyword because these are coming up with some weird ones. Let's see. Overspending search term. Let's see if we can come up with something for that. Oh, interesting. It just jumped up in November. I guess holiday spending. Everyone's worried about overspending for the holidays. So that's a good keyword to jump on right now. It looks like it's really popular. And Ontario and British Columbia, we are apparently overspenders. That's interesting. I'm not getting enough data. I wonder if it's a little bit broken today. Normally you get a whole bunch of really great keywords in here. I'm going to try one that I know should work. Blogging. Blogging the boys. What? What is that? Okay, this tool isn't working so well today. Normally you get a lot of ideas here and it's coming up with some weird stuff today. But you never know. Like, it's a free tool. Spend 5 minutes when you have a keyword, throw it in there and kind of see what other ideas you can come up with. Okay, the next tool is another tool. It's called keywordtool.io. And I believe it's limited to 1 or 2 a day. So just, spread it out over a couple days. Let's try, Lindsay, let's do a keyword for you in here. What's a keyword you want to kind of come up with some ideas for?
Well, if we want to keep going with the radical roadmap, we could say business planner, like business planner 2022.
Okay, let's try just business planner for now. We'll do Canada. And ideally, if this works, we should come up with a whole bunch of ideas. So here's a bunch. Now, because this is the free version, they're not going to give you the search volume, unfortunately, but it's enough to get some ideas. Business planner near me, business planner template, that might work.
No, I wouldn't. That would be considered that would be for people that want to make a business planner.
Right. Okay. Business. Oh, this is probably business planner, like people planning for your business as opposed to a business planner book.
Yeah.
Business planner agenda, starting a business planner. See, interesting, because that phrase, you and I think of business planner, we think of a book. But here, the results are coming up with more like the person.
Yeah, because when I
planner.
Put in business planner into Google, I get planners, like actual books. And then the little extension that I added on, like it's like business planner, small business planner, starting a business, all-in-one business planner, daily business planner. So it's funny because on there it's pulling up like a career.
Yeah.
On there, it's the other thing.
Well, what if we do like business planning? Because the keyword doesn't have to be related specifically to what you're selling, as long as it's the same niche, right?
Yeah.
Business planning process. You could write a blog post or an episode about the process, how to plan for your business, how to plan a new business, and lead to the planner. Yeah, see, it's interesting because different things are coming up. Business planning book.
What happens when you put in content planner? Although it could be the same thing, you're still getting a
yeah, I feel like the word planner, I might max this out shortly.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
That's okay. We'll do as much as we can. There's other tools here.
Yeah.
Or I guess your planner, Lindsay, that's like an annual planner.
Yeah. Would you do annual business planner?
Oops.
I was like, why did that look wrong?
Can't even spell business. Don't get me to spell entrepreneur either. Let's try annual business.
No, that'll be a business plan. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just afraid if I put the word planner in, we're going to get the person.
Even with annual.
Oh, that's interesting. Business annual planner.
The problem with the business plan is a specific tool related to your business, right? It's a document.
Part of the planner too is like goal setting and tracking, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it could just be business goal setting.
Yeah.
Business goal setting workshop. There you go. Do a workshop that's called business goal setting.
Yeah. Even like business goal setting workshop, business goal setting examples, because it's all things that I can create content around.
Exactly.
Or have content directly from the roadmap. And then, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's not like this is I'm glad this actually didn't work fully.
Yeah.
It shows that it doesn't always work, but it gives you ideas.
Yeah.
And we're still just taking a stab in the dark. So it can't hurt to try an idea.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this is that if you try an idea, you try a keyword for your homepage, for example, and after a few months, it's just really not working, switch it up.
Yeah.
Try something else. That's why we're creating these big, long lists today. And, for the next few days for when you're working on this, just to keep on trying different things because it may not work. Nobody can tell you for sure that it's going to work.
So do you recommend that once somebody finds something that works, because you've shared a few tools, once you found a tool that works, a bucket of keywords that work, just stick with it. Stick with that tool, stick with playing in those range of keywords and just stick with it versus feeling like you have to use every tool or you have to get every keyword.
No, you don't have to use every tool. You don't have to, you don't have to use every tool. Once you have a bunch of keywords that you like, use them, but don't use a keyword phrase more than once.
Like ever?
That is the key. You shouldn't.
Interesting. How come?
The rules, because you'd be competing against yourself. Mm-hmm. So for example, if you use business planner as your keyword phrase, you did your homepage as business planner and the business planner sales page as business planner.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you're competing against yourself on Google. And you don't want to be competing against yourself. So the technical side of things say don't do it. However, if it's something on a different platform, I would say yes. It's hard to say yes or no to this question, because people will say don't do it, people will say do it. Another train of thought that you can consider and weigh in your choice is if someone searches for business planner, you get 10 search results. If your website comes up, your lead magnet, a course, a podcast episode, and Lindsay Johnson has 5 links of the 10, that can look good too. Mm-hmm. So that's a good aspect of it. But when it comes to your website specifically, I would say if you choose a keyword phrase and assign it to a certain page, try not to use it anywhere else on your site.
So that's two different things I'm talking about. Yeah, because I'm talking about your content and you're talking about website. And that's a really important thing for folks to know on their website. Like your pages should say something different. It shouldn't be the same keyword or the same thing on each page, right?
Yeah.
That's a really important part. When it comes to content, are you saying to not use a keyword on your content? Like a blog, like if I use top business planner 2022, and then I use how to use a business planner for growth, and then I use, like if business planner is the thing, would I not want to use that again in other long form titles? That sort of.
Yeah, I would say yes. This goes to
wait. Yes, what? Yes, use it again, or yes, don't use it again.
Yes, use it again.
Okay.
But bear with me for a moment.
Yes.
Yes, but is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
This actually goes to some slides that I took out of this presentation today because I didn't think we were going to have time, is about repurposing content.
Yeah.
And, if you've followed me, you've heard me talk about this before. The basic premise of repurposing content is to get more content out there. And what you do is you create, say, a podcast episode, a blog post, a YouTube video, you create it with certain keywords, with all the SEO stuff done right. And then you republish it on a different platform. You publish it in a different format over here, do a different format over here. In that case, yes, use the same keywords for all of those pieces because it's all the same content. When you do that and someone searches for business planner, they'll come up with your podcast episode about business planner. Mm-hmm. They'll come up with your blog post, your website, your sales page, come up with all of these links. So your site will be like 5 of the 10. So in that case, when it's content, if it's the same content, yes, use the same keyword. If it's content pages within your website, do not duplicate it. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's
cool.
the
Thank you.
Yes, but answer, which I like to say when it comes to content all the time.
You're like, okay, it depends. Whenever somebody asks me a business question, I'm like, well, it depends.
It depends because every business is different.
Yep.
Two businesses could do exactly the same thing with ranking for the exact same keyword, do everything perfect, but there's just something about this site that we can't control, how long you've had your domain, the design of your website, that'll just, everything's different. You have to do what works for you and what works for your customers. Okay, I think I've got a couple other tools. Oops, I got too fast. Okay, this one. So Lindsay, do you remember in the blog workshop, I was talking about this website and there's the creepy man on it?
Yeah, I was just literally the first thing I thought was the creepy man. Now you got a creepy robot.
He's gone. And it was like my main
him.
Thing. He creeped me out. But anyways, besides that, this Answer the Public is another great way to come up with keywords, to come up with ideas for podcasts and everything. So you come here, ignore the robot doing his robot thing, and you type in one of those keyword phrases. Here, it suggests to keep it a little bit shorter, so make it very broad. So let's just do women's health. And we'll throw an apostrophe in there, women's health. So just a short keyword phrase, you search. Now this one tool, I do believe you are limited to like 2 searches a day. I don't want pro. Okay, I'm going to zoom down.
Can I ask a question on this while you're doing that? Because they don't give you any search pools or anything. They just give you names. And so I don't find it a useful tool because, so does the paid version give you search pool and competition?
I don't think this one does. I've never used the paid one. When it comes to tools, I like the free ones as much as possible. So I can't speak to the paid one. But at the very least, you find your keywords in here that you think are really good, and you throw them into those other tools. And I'll show you one that will show you the ranking for it in a bit. So for the phrase women's health, it's given me 346 phrase ideas. And they're formatted in all these really cool ways. I'm not sure if this is big enough for you guys to see, but, it could say, what is women's health? What is women's health physical therapy? All of these ideas they're giving you here are ideas, are keyword ideas, are blog post titles, are YouTube video titles. You just scroll here. See if I can find something good. Women's health to wealth. Oh, interesting. Comparisons. You know, if you're doing a blog post or a podcast episode, this is where comparisons are really good. So you can optimize for women's health and well-being. That seems maybe a bit broad, but what causes jelly-like discharge? There you go. Do a blog post on that. And because that's what people might be searching for. But there's just all these different kinds of ideas in here that you can look at to get some ideas. And, you know, at the very least, if you can't get to a tool that shows you that competition or monthly searches, pick one that seems logical to you, that you think people might put into Google to find your business, and try it. You know, like I said a little bit ago, you can change it if it doesn't work. It's easy to kind of swap out keywords like that if you've done it right. Okay, another tool is Google Ads. Now, if you don't already have a Google Ads account, when you create a new one, it wants you to start a campaign and give them your credit card. If you don't want to do that, I've put in the link in the chat here some instructions to bypass that account setup and get to the cool tools without giving your credit card. And they're free tools. And these are probably the best tools for research. So this is a new video. I think they've updated some things. So I think it should work. If it doesn't work, let me know. I'll find you guys the right video to make it work. So you go to ads.google.com, you bypass all the things, and you come to this screen. All you do is you type in a couple of phrases that you've already brainstormed. So let's do money coach. Whoops, again, let's move this over. Money coach, women's financial. I'll just do this. Financial well-being, overspending. Just throw in a couple keywords in there. Oops. And click on get results. So this is where all the cool information is. So here's those 3 keywords I've put in. Oops. It's showing how many monthly searches there are for those phrases. So these 2, those are really good. You know, 100 to 1,000 searches. That's not important. Competition, medium and low. So, you know, Linda, these are, I would think, fairly broad keywords, but it's saying there's not a lot of other people putting out ads on Google for those keyword phrases. So potentially you could have, if you create content with those keywords, have the potential to rank pretty good for those. I think that's pretty decent. Women's financial well-being, you know, I took that off the top of my head. Not a lot of monthly searches, so maybe not the best keyword to try. But then what it will do is it'll give you all these, I wish I could close some of these. Oh, so annoying. It gives you all these other keyword ideas: money mindset coach, certified money coach, overspending problems, maybe. Overspend. Oh, where did it go? Overspending during the holidays. 10 to 100 searches. Not terrible, but how many of us are worried about overspending during the holidays and we need some help to rein ourselves in? That could be a great phrase. You know, I would just ignore this. You know, we know timely. That's one of the things our customers want, is timely information. That is timely right now. And maybe later in the month and maybe in January to kind of curb how much we overspend over the holidays. Financial coaching for women. So this is interesting. It has a fairly low search, but it's very high competition. So even though this, you know, it's 4 words, it meets that criteria, it's specific, it may be difficult to rank for. So it may not be a word that many of us would want to try. Potentially, you could try. I'm not saying you can't, but it might be a bit more difficult. Where did it go? Money mindset financial coaching would be a better one because it's only got medium difficulty. So it's just a great tool. And this is probably one of the best ones to get the average searches and the competition idea. Yeah, so I got all those links to all those tools in the chat here and the YouTube video to bypass the giving them your credit card, because I don't want to give them my credit card if I'm not planning to do an ad. I just don't want to do that. So that helps you bypass it. Do I have the other tool here? I do. So before I show you this tool, I'm just going to pop back to my slide for just a moment. Find it. There we go. Okay, so another way to come up with keywords. So have you ever been to a website that you could tell they really tried to optimize it for a keyword? They have, we are the best Vancouver plumber for you. We are the Vancouver plumber that your business needs. Our Vancouver plumber is in your neighborhood now. That sounds terrible. Technically, it will meet all the criteria, but from a readability perspective, it's crap. We know it's not friendly. So a way to get friendly and make the algorithm happy is to use something called Latent Semantic Indexing keywords, LSI. So again, the algorithm knows a lot. It's very, very smart, as much as we may hate it. It's smart, and it knows that if I use the words marketing, SEO, content optimization, and online in a blog article, Google knows that that's probably an article about SEO optimization. So I can throw in all of these words instead of saying SEO optimization strategies 10 times on the page, which gets annoying. So it's looking for words that are frequently used together. Another example, I love coffee a lot. So words like coffee, beans, filter, temperature, grind, they're all used. If you're writing a blog post about how to make coffee, these are the kinds of words that you'll use. So if your phrase, for example, was cold brew coffee, if that was your main keyword phrase, use that throughout the page everywhere I'm going to tell you in a few slides from now. Use that phrase, but also throw in these other words too, because Google knows that if you're talking about cold brew coffee, you're likely also going to be writing about using the word machine, ice, glass, bottle, beans, all of these phrases. Now, this is a very simplified version, which I like, but this tool, it complicates it a little bit. But let's say if I type in cold brew coffee. So this is in the links here, lsigraph.com. Oh, bicycles. Oh. Okay, bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. Man, those are the most tricky son of a. I always get them wrong.
How proud do you feel when you get it on the first shot? You're like, yes, I'm not a computer.
But then you feel like crap when you don't get it right. It's like, okay, how many stoplights are there? I'm like, yeah, I got them all. Then how many car doors? I'm like,
the worst are the ones where it's like, which ones don't have a bicycle, but you just read bicycle and you click all the bicycles and it's like, you robot. Get your ish together.
Oh, it's so frustrating. So with this tool, it's more of like keyword research than LSI, but you can use the same thing. So if you're writing an article about cold brew coffee, also maybe how to strain cold brew coffee, that could be a headline. Cold brew coffee maker, talking about the maker. So, throw in some of these words in addition to your main keyword phrase. Now, this is when you're ready to take it a step further. You don't have to. If you just feel comfortable doing one keyword phrase and putting it in all the spots that I'm going to show you in a minute, that is totally fine and that works. Because if you're writing naturally, all these words will come up anyways. It's just one more idea. If you find that you feel like you're using the word too much and too specifically, and you think it sounds weird, they will think it sounds weird. So just kind of throw in some of these in the mix to kind of make it a little more friendly. And the great thing about this is that it's great for our customers and our readers. It's also great for Google because Google has caught on. When search engine optimization started, it was all just technical. You put it here, here, and here, and you will be a number one. But they're taking all this information, like I said, all this psychology thinking stuff and working it into search results, because their goal is to to help us find the information that we need as a searcher. So it makes sense. And I'm really glad that the algorithm is getting a little bit more intelligent and it can do this for us. You know, it used to be pretty spammy before, like years ago when this first came out. And now it's a little more, I find it genuine if you do it the right way. So speaking of Google and what we're going to search in Google, I want to do just a quick group activity. We've only got a couple of us here. We're doing okay for time. Let's each go around, and for each person, I want you to tell that person what you would Google to find their kind of business. So Min, let's go with you first. So Lindsay, for you and I, let's tell Min, if we're looking for help with TikTok and web business, what are we typing in Google?
Okay, I would probably type in, I'd probably type in TikTok, not trends. What would I say? Like how to make a TikTok, or like how to make a viral TikTok, or how to make what's the word I'm looking for? A TikTok that works, like
viral.
Yeah, like a viral TikTok.
A popular, share-worthy.
I'd be like, how to use TikTok features, how to use TikTok trends, how to use TikTok sounds. It would be a lot of like technical things. But that would be more for like how to make content on TikTok. If I were looking specifically for Min, I wouldn't even know that somebody like Min exists.
Yep.
So I think I would be searching these how-tos, and then Min would need to tell me she exists through her content.
Exactly. And that's a great point. You know, that's why we're creating all this valuable content that's educational based.
Yeah.
So that if we don't know that somebody exists to help us with our TikToks, or we don't know what the name of that person is, we're researching, you know, I might research things like why I need to use TikTok for my business. Is TikTok effective for my business? I'm going to come to Min. I'm going to come to your website where you've got a blog post on that topic. Oh, cool. Well, Min looks like she knows her stuff. Yeah. Oh, what? She has services. Oh, she does this. Oh, interesting. You know, it's all about that. Not every search has to lead to a sale, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, when you're coming up with keyword phrases, you know, we've talked about this a little bit. It doesn't have to be just to make a sale. Just anything that you can show off your expertise and that you can create content around.
Yeah. And remember, like get people on your list. Like you can have an opt-in on your, like I have the opt-ins on my blogs. I have opt-ins on my YouTubes. I have opt-ins on my podcast. Just get on the list and come join the Facebook group, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay, let's do a couple for Linda. So money coach spending. So if I was going in Google for Linda, if I got my credit card bill in the mail and it was like $5,000 and I don't have $5,000, you know, my first instinct is to go, you know, family budgeting or business budgeting tips, or how to curb my overspending. You know, I don't think I would know that I need a coach quite yet.
I would do like pandemic overspending, emotional overspending. Why am I overspending? Right? You know,
how to build wealth without giving up my Starbucks.
Yes, I like that one.
Literally what I Googled the other day.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I was like, there are some things in my life I don't want to give up, and Starbucks is one of them. Teach me how to do that.
That's funny. I was writing a landing page for a client, and one of the things we were using is it costs less than a cup of coffee. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't give up my cup of coffee. Why am I asking them to give up one cup of coffee to buy this? Like,
yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's also, well, actually, I'm not going to get into it. Never mind. Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into a capitalist rant right now.
Yeah. So that's interesting because, you know, all of us on the, you know, that have signed up for the course today, we're all service-based businesses, you know, so sometimes people don't know that they actually need that service.
Yep. Or that there's someone that serves that need.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with content marketing for folks that are watching the replay, especially that you aren't here. Content marketing is not always about making a direct sale. It's making people aware that somebody like you exists. And that's why it's so important to create content.
And that's why earlier today, I had you write down those problems, those struggles that people have, because that could be a great thing. You know, I was doing SEO for a fitness trainer and we did that exercise. We went through all the struggles, you know, back pain, you know, shoulder pain after biking or butt pain after biking.
Mm-hmm.
These are the struggles people have. They don't know they need to hire somebody or get a trainer. They just know they have a problem. They're going to put it in Google, see what Dr. Google says.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
I liked how you had though the like 4 different types of intent, because then there are the people that it's like how to hire a trainer, how to find the best trainer, what you should ask when you're looking for a trainer, right? Like, so then you can create content around awareness, create content around comparison if people are wanting to shop. It's a really great perspective to have around that too.
Yeah. And when we're talking about those 4 areas, Lindsay, I'm sure you've talked about like marketing funnels before. There's the high level, I just want information about this topic. And then there's the middle level where, there's people that offer a service or a product. Interesting. Okay. It's different kinds of content. And then, how much does this cost? How do I buy this? Who do I buy this from? It's all different kinds of content. And that relates to your keywords too. The top of the funnel is that informational. I just want information about this. I just want to solve my problem. And then it could get into more searching for certain people. So your business coaches, comparing 2 different ones, and then buying or purchasing or hiring at the end. So marketing all fits together in this like big web. I'm like very handsy today. Like passionate. Okay. Any questions about, sorry, we haven't gone through.
Let's do Susie. Yeah. So for Susie, how would I Google that? It could be very much like, okay, because I know Susie and I know how she works, and she's much more in the, the spiritual space versus the medical space. Like I would probably be like, how to connect to my womb power. What is womb power? Something like how to be a powerful woman, how to use, like those kinds of things. Like I would really search around that kind of stuff. If I was somebody who's dealing with pain though, I would probably be like how to relieve pain after, I've never had a baby, but it'd be something specific around like how to relieve pain after blah, blah, blah. So it'd be like more like specific things. Min, what about you? What would you Google? You're on mute.
You're on mute again.
Come on, man. Get it
I'm
together.
just so gross. Like I just was like, I don't want anybody hearing my sniffles or disgustingness.
It's all cool.
It's almost over. I can feel it. I'm like in the home stretch of it. I know it.
Oh, thank goodness.
So I'm still learning about Susie's business, but
think about after like you had kids, like what were some of the things that you were Googling?
You don't want to know.
How to survive sleep without sleep.
That one's for Heather.
How to I think now if I was like a new mom and dealing with a lot of postpartum pain, I would be Googling things like what home remedies to deal with the pelvic pain that I'm experiencing after childbirth, or how to soothe the postpartum pains. I think that would be kind of close to what I'd be looking for at the moment.
Another way to look at it too is people know they want to get to a spot. Yeah. They don't know how to get there. So, how to live without pain, or, for financial planning, how to live debt free, for business planning, how to stop the overwhelm, thinking about from that angle too, because that's what people know. People generally know where they are now, and some people know where they want to get to. Yeah. They know at least one of the two. They don't know the middle. So it's always another way to look at keywords. That's what they're going to be searching for. That's their intent. They know they want this, or they have this. And then your job is to create content for that middle to show them that you are the person that can get you from A to B. Right. That's what we all do in our businesses. We get people from A to B. Perfect. Lindsay, let's do some for Lindsay. The biggest thing, and I know you're big about this, is the overwhelm, because so many entrepreneurs feel overwhelmed. So how to run a business and have a family, strategies for business optimization. That sounds a little more technical, but I want to optimize my business, be things like that.
I was going to ask Min, what did you search? Or you found me in a, no, how did
I found
you
you
find
in a
me?
group, but I did do some searches before that. And it was like, why would I hire a business coach? What benefits do I get with working alongside a business coach? And then what else did I search for? What businesses to start with little capital?
Yeah.
Like that was the biggest one, is like, what business can I start with zero down, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah. And those are perfect because, all of those kinds of searches aren't direct, buy from me pages that Lindsay has created. She's created valuable content, shown herself as the expert in that area of starting a business, of running a business. And then now you're working with her. So that's like, you're the ideal case. Yeah. You did these searches based on, you knew you needed a coach, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you're looking for strategies first. I don't know. And then learning about the person, doing all the searches, engaging with Lindsay and her brand and her community, and then becoming a customer. Like that's what we want. That's what we want to see. That's what we all want to see when it comes to our business. Okay. Are you guys okay with the research portion of it and ready to learn how to use that?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, actually really quickly, remember my pronouns are they, them.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
If you forget, it's right there on my name.
Yeah.
I am sorry, Lindsay. Apologies.
Okay. Because I was a she before. So that's why you're good.
It's all good. Sorry. Okay. Once you have your keywords, once you've picked what your keyword is going to be matched to a blog post or a web page, here is how you use it. So for my example, here is what comes up when you search for Vancouver copywriter. I'm number 4. Sorry, I'm really excited about that. So this is the homepage of my website, and this is what shows up in Google when you come to my page. Now, for this page, I decided to optimize for Vancouver copywriter. It's pretty short, but I took a chance and it's worked out pretty well. So what I've done is I've used Vancouver copywriter on my homepage in something called the meta title. Now, when you have your WordPress, Wix, whatever it is, there should be a spot to customize your meta title. Make sure that your keyword is in there. I would, this is my homepage, but I have not put home on there because no one wants to see that in a Google search. Nobody cares. So I put my company name and Vancouver copywriter. I could have done it the other way around. I could have said Vancouver copywriter, WriterGal marketing services. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that I put my meta title or my keyword in my meta title. And do make sure that meta title is less than 60 characters. Because if it's longer, Google will truncate it and you'll lose the end. If that is the case, and if it is a bit longer than 60 characters, that's okay. Just make sure that keyword is in the first 60 characters at the very least. That's kind of like a last resort. The next spot that you want it is in your meta description. And that's the description that shows up in Google here underneath your list. And you can customize that for every page. If you do not customize either of these fields, it will default to your heading 1 title for the meta title and the first paragraph-ish of your content for the description. So I always recommend, even if your heading 1 style and your first paragraph have the keyword, put this in here and customize it just in case. Because Google has been known to take not the first paragraph, they might take something further down. So if you want to ensure that your keyword is picked up, put it in that meta description. So here's just a quick example of a blog post that I was trying to aim for repurposing content, just short and sweet. So the title was Why Every Smart Business Should Be Repurposing Content. So it needs to go in your page title. That's that H1 style. For your blogs, if you've used a program like WordPress, it'll automatically be there. So just put in your title in the title field and it will show up there. The next spot is you want it in 2% of the body text. When you're looking at a 500-word article, it's really only about 2 or 3 times. So it's kind of hard to be spammy when you only have to use it 2 or 3 times. And I think I've got a tool. Let me just copy this next one. So when you've written a blog post or a web page, copy the content into this link right here, and it will tell you how many words you've used. And actually, let me just briefly show you. Do I still have it up? Oh, I need to refresh. Let me just show you what it looks like. Okay. I'll just put in a URL. So you can copy the full text of your blog post, your web page, your sales page in here. Don't worry about formatting. Just click the I'm not a robot and click perform check. But because I don't have any content, I'm just going to put my home page in here. So you can put, if you got a website that's already up or page that's already up, you can check it and see how often you've used your keyword phrase on that page. So I'm just doing a search now. Is it working? Yes, it's working. So the free version of this will only show you up to 3 word strings. It won't show you any more. So you have to pay to get more, but this is pretty good. So it's analyzed the homepage of my website live right now. And I've used the word marketing 15 times. I'm not too concerned. It's at 2.75% density. I'm not concerned. It's one keyword. I'm a marketing business. If I scroll down 2 word phrases, I've used the word content marketing 8 times, about 1.47%. So I would aim for about 1.5 to 2% of the body text. So that is really great. Vancouver copywriter is slightly low, but it's interesting because I'm ranking better for that one. But anyways, this will tell you how often you've used your keyword. So aim for 1.5 to 2% of your body content. And let's go back to slides. So that's how to figure out what your percentage is. If you're using a site like WordPress, you may have a plugin already installed, or you can install one that will tell you how much you've used it, if you've used it the right amount. And the best plugin for WordPress is Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. So is anyone using something that's not WordPress for their site?
I don't use WordPress. I just have my stuff on Kajabi.
Oh, we'll get into that later. Your Kajabi as well?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not familiar with Kajabi. Do you have any SEO tools built into that?
Oh yeah, it has all the same things. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So find the tool in whatever you're using, and it should be able to tell you things like what your keyword phrase is once you put it in, how often you've used it, and give you other suggestions. So 2% of the body content. The next spot you want it is if you have an image on your page, which every page should have at least one, it should be included in the alt text. So when I'm not sure how Kajabi works, but when you upload an image, you usually have the option to customize this alt text. Put your keyword phrase in there and maybe a short little sentence. And this does 2 things. 1, Google looks for it. 3 things. Google looks for it there. If for whatever reason your picture doesn't load, it will show that little light gray box and the text underneath, so people see that there was supposed to be an image there. And for people that have those accessibility tools that reads websites to them, if they have vision problems, it will read that to them as well. So make sure it's something, I wouldn't just put repurposing content as the alt text here. I might say how to repurpose content or image illustrating something about repurposing content. It's just another spot that Google looks. So when you're optimizing a web page or a blog post, or even your YouTube videos or your podcast episodes, make sure that you've got it in the title of the page, about 2% of the text. Now, this doesn't apply to things like YouTube or podcast episodes. Just put it in once, maybe in your description once or twice. And if you have an image that you upload, an alt text for that. It can also help if you've bolded some text with that keyword phrase or italicized it or put it in a heading. I always, when I do stuff for my clients, I put the keyword in the main title in at least one of the subheadings and then throughout the text, because that will really, really stand out and Google looks for that. Okay, some other things that if we step aside from content or keywords for just a moment, other things we can control for SEO is the readability of our content. So some really, really quick tips here. You can take a screenshot of this at the end if you'd like. Make sure that you're writing in shorter sentences. Google apparently knows if you're writing big, long run-on sentences and doesn't like it. And our people don't want to read big, long sentences online either. So keep them short. Keep short paragraphs too, 2 to 4 sentences, really, really, really short. Use bullets and lists as much as you can. That really helps with scanning pages and people that just don't want to read the whole thing, but they want to get a little bit. That's great too. Use subheadings. This is great for the scanners and for Google because Google wants to see your keyword in at least 1 or 2 of your subheadings, as well as those related words too. So it doesn't have to be that keyword. Some other tips I always like to throw in, use plain language online. We don't have to be complicated, especially when people are still learning about our niche and our business. Just be simple. We don't have to be complicated. Online, you don't need to repeat anything too much. You know, Google doesn't like seeing repetition over and over again. Our readers don't need it either because they can always go back and read what they missed. And in case anybody doesn't read the whole page, have the most important stuff at the top. You know, it's the inverted pyramid storytelling. So that if they only read the first 2 or 3 paragraphs, they've at least gotten the gist or the most important information. So those are just some tips. So after you've picked your keyword, you've incorporated it in those key spots that I've told you, and you've written the content in this kind of a format, you have a good chance to start ranking for that keyword. Now, if you do all of this stuff, tomorrow you're not going to wake up and all of a sudden be on number 1. Give it some time. Pick a keyword for your page, your content, whatever that piece of content is. Give it a couple months, kind of let it sit there. Use that keyword in your social media a few times or in other pieces of content and just kind of let it sit. And then do a Google search for that keyword and see where you're ranking. You know, if you've got Google tools set up on your website, you can track that. You can see what your average position is for a certain keyword too, which is really cool. There's lots of those kinds of tools out there. Do I have any other links I wanted to share? I think I've got them all there. Keyword density. Yeah, so those are the main ones. So we're actually, we're doing really good for timing. I'm just going to summarize a few things and then we can just open it up for some chat or some questions for the last 10 minutes. So what I want you to do after you're done today, ideally, if you have time this afternoon while it's fresh, but I get it. If you don't, set aside some time because this is really important to work on this over the next couple of days. I want you to go back, use these tools and just come up with a big list of potential keywords. At first, don't worry about whether they're good keywords or relevant keywords. Just build that big master list. And then you can pick and choose from there which ones you want to kind of use and play with. I want you to pick some content that you really want to optimize. Maybe it's a program or a course or a landing page or your homepage of your website if you haven't already. Pick a phrase and start optimizing it. Or create new content for that phrase. So if you found a phrase today that you think is really, really awesome, that you really want to start ranking for, create some content for it. Make a plan to do that. And then optimize the content for that phrase. So what I like to do is I like to come up with a phrase, I'll write the content, and then I'll go back and work in that phrase after I've written the content. That helps me make sure that I'm writing it for people. And then I'm adding in the SEO keyword afterwards, but it's been in my mind the whole time I'm writing. So it should be easy to just work it in. And then just publish whatever pieces you've got, put it out there in the world. You know, pressing that enter, that send button is always that like a stressful thing, but don't let it be stressful. It's not a big deal because it's online. We can change it later if we've picked the wrong keyword. So don't be afraid of picking the wrong keyword. Just pick one that seems logical to you or ask people. You know, today we did some brainstorming about what we would search for in Google. You know, ask people, ask colleagues, ask customers, clients, and promote the content that you're putting out there. You know, promote it on social media, talk about it on other sites, repurpose content in other ways. So these are really your next steps. So that is really all we've got. I've got a free gift here for you, one of my lead magnets. if you want to have a little bit more fun, this one's a blogging lead magnet. It's the blogging Madlibs game. I think I've sent this to Lindsay before. I think this was in my last workshop as well. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I highly recommend download it. You might get some keywords out of this too. At the very least, it'll help you come up with some topics. And from there, you may be able to figure out what keywords you can assign to those topics and get that content out there. So I have thrown in all my contact information here. Now, because I know that a couple of you weren't able to make it today, and some of you may be looking at this in the future, you know, Lindsay, do you know when the recording is going to be available?
Yeah, it'll be available today. I'll creating a page for it and putting it up.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, because I can't offer, you know, my services forever. If anyone's watching this right away over the next week or two, and you have any questions or you want to run some keywords by me, even, you know, Min, for you that was here today, if you want to email me a couple of notes or a question or two, I'd be happy to answer those, maybe up until like the 10th-ish of December. And obviously, you know, if you have questions in the future, feel free to reach out, but anything related to the workshop today, feel free if you weren't able to attend live, and I can provide some feedback for you.
And the other thing too, as I said this at the very beginning of our workshop here, is that Ashely's my go-to person when someone needs help with this. I always recommend that they just book, even if you just book a single quick consultation with Ashely, whether you get to the point down the road, depending on where you're at in your business, where you're going to literally hire Ashely to do a lot of the stuff for you, or do some blogging and content writing for you. Or if you're just in the beginning stages and you're still DIYing a lot of it, book some time with Ashely to have a consultation. And it's like invaluable.
And we can, you know, we'll go through some of these tools together, and I'll help you come up with some ideas. We'll put things in, we'll play with them and see what comes out. Or we can just brainstorm ideas or strategy, or you can ask me more technical questions if you want to get into more in depth in certain areas that we couldn't get into in, you know, 120 minutes today. Yeah. So Min, do you have any questions about how this applies to your business?
No, I think I'm probably gonna have more questions once I start diving in and building out my own keywords for yeah. I'm in the process of building out my website now. So, and as I think of new content to kind of push out, yeah, I'll probably have some questions. I'm putting it in my calendar right now as to a deadline to connect with you.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't want this to be overwhelming. Like that's never my intention when I do these workshops. If you need a good place to start, take one blog post, take one YouTube video, take one page on your website. It doesn't have to be your homepage if you don't want it to be. Just work with that, get comfortable with that, and then expand it to other pieces of content.
Yeah.
You don't have to SEO every single piece of content you create. It would be great if you could, but we have lives. We want to have lives. You know, pick those core pieces, you know, your top 2 or 3 programs, your top 3 pages on your website, you know, a couple blog posts, one a month, whatever it is, just anything is better than nothing.
Yeah. Okay. And just always thinking strategy first, right? Do the strategy first, and then just start playing. I've kind of like put down, like I've got your next steps list here. I've got the key things you want to be aware of as a list here. The links that you shared. Actually, would you do a favor and just share the link to your freebie in the chat so I can copy and paste it real quick?
Yes.
I know I probably have it, but I've got sort of like all the main things. And so on the page of the replay, oh, perfect. Thank you. On the page of the replay, I'm going to bullet point this stuff out as well. And I'm going to share the blogging workshop replay, because that's where you break down the anatomy of a blog. Again, it's such a great workshop. And just I work best when I have a checklist. And like, so just start doing things on the checklist. And then I'm going to assume it's going to become automatic. You won't even think about it. You'll just do you'll know how to do the research. You'll pick those things and boom, content will be made. I love it. And I love all the tools that you shared for just for how to do keyword research. And what was it called? The LSI, or what was it? The
latent semantic indexing.
Semantic indexing. Like, that's great. Like,
LSI.
I love that. Because that's the thing is, and I used to be taught to how to to keywords like that. And if you are looking for a business coach that I'm just saying this for right now, neurodivergent business coach, and you're going to want to work with me, who's a neurodivergent business coach, and have programs for neurodivergent business coach. Like, you just keep stuffing the same word. And so I love this latent semantic indexing. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it a lot more readable. It's so great that the algorithms are smart enough that they can look beyond just the technical, can look at these relationships between words, and it's really cool.
Well, you see it a lot in like recipes online, like people when they're showing recipes and you see them stuffing the same key phrase in, or like a lot of times if I'm like looking up what TV show has been canceled or is there going to be another season, and you could see that phrase getting stuffed in so much. So I love it. Amazing. Ashely, this has been fantastic. I literally have no questions. This has been fantastic. I can't wait to go play. Thank you for the prompt for everybody to right now go and put it into action. Get a bucket of keywords going. Pick something you want to sell or something you want to highlight and start getting that content created, and then share the heck out of it. I love it.
Yep. That's all you got to do. Little bits at a time.
Amazing. Thank you so much for everything. All the links, all the things that we've shared are going to be on this replay page. Folks, if you want to connect with Ashely, please do. Ashely is a great way of really breaking it down and making it simple. It can feel really complex and overwhelming because it is complex and overwhelming, but Ashely, you do a really great job of giving people a kicking off point to get started. So thank you so much for that today.
Thank you. Stay dry.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Stay dry out there. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.